This podcast is part of the No Phony Podcast Network, the home of independent awesomeness.
All right, guys, welcome back to another edition of On the Road with Jim and Casey. With me, as always, James Morganti.
Good morning.
Joining us today is Jay Ray, the founder of the No Phony Podcast Network and also co-host of Politics with Dummies. What's going on, dude?
What's up, guys? How you guys doing? Thanks for having me on this piece of shit. I'm sure both your viewers would love to hear from me on this.
So, Jay Ray, I wanted to get into it. What made you start the No Phony Podcast Network?
I don't know. It was like I wanted to be on a network because, we're podcasters, right? And if you can't get people to listen, you got to think of new ways to do stuff. So I was looking into networks, and I didn't like any of them. A lot of them wanted you to pay money. A lot of them, they needed this. They needed you to do that. And so I was like, how come there's no podcast networks where you don't have to do any of that shit, where you can just do you and help people? So I started No Phony thinking I'd be the only one in it. And it turned out that over the past 2 years, it's grown into something pretty cool. And I made a lot of friends, and I get to be on shows like this that I wouldn't have normally been able to do. We've made some enemies too, Casey.
Yes,
made a couple of enemies doing it too.
Yes, we have.
But we've made more friends than enemies.
Absolutely. Yeah. Why don't you just a quick overview of some of the podcasts that we have in the network?
Oh, we have, we're all over the world, which I never thought would happen. We have Bats and Balls in Australia. We have Talking Codswallop in England. We have Release the Clowns in London. We have our featured podcast is in Texas and California called Round and Round. We're in Canada with Assorted Goods. I don't know, help me out. I can't think of everybody. BS3, sports. I mean, whatever your interests are, if you go to nophonynetwork.com, you're gonna find something you like.
Yeah, there's a lot of great podcasts out, and I have to be honest, I don't listen to all of them. It's fucking tough to
It's a lot.
As much shit as that's going on in the world. It's just hard to sit down and listen to podcasts. So we appreciate anyone that listens to our podcasts or any of the No Phony podcasts out there. So why don't you tell us a little bit? You have a podcast that's on the network as well, Politics with Dummies.
Politics with Dummies started out as political, and now it's more just a fuck story of two people yelling at each other. Me and another guy called Luke Dog. All right, that should tell you a lot right there. If you haven't heard or seen it, he's a Trump supporter like Jim. He's an idiot. And what we do is we argue for 45 minutes about every 2 weeks about whatever the hell's going on in the news. It's topical. So if people want to listen to it, don't start at number one, because that's 3 years ago and none of it makes any sense. But if you just want 40 minutes of insults back and forth, we're the podcast for you.
Hey, do you guys, do you find yourself listening to do you listen to all your episodes? Because I find myself, I listen to my episodes all the time. Like, I'm listening so hard just to see, because a lot of times you just start talking and stuff comes flying out of your mouth. I'm like, oh, I didn't say that right or something like that. Like, do you go back, do you listen to all your shows a lot just to see all your if you make mistakes and stuff like that?
I used to, but the problem with that is there's always regret. Like, I wish I'd have said that. I wish I'd have said, why didn't I say this? Because we're flowing in the moment. And so I try not to listen because it just really screws up my fucking day.
Oh, yeah. And where's your accent from?
We're in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
This is a Chicago accent.
All right. I got you.
Hey, Jimbo, you can't I mean, you must think you sound great on our podcasts, because the editing that I do is like hours and hours worth of me cutting ums and you going.
Do you think I like not being able to speak properly? Do you think I go around like this? Hey man, I can't help that. According to my speech therapist, when I was a child, she thought I was, it was adorable. But I guess now that you get older, it's not, everyone always wants, love the children, love them. But when you're adult and you act like a child, they're like, you piece of garbage, you better grow up. I'm like, hey, I thought we were supposed to love the children. And when we act like that, I don't know. But I just wanted to backtrack for a second. Hey, I only support God. I don't like people. In fact, all people are sinners. I just, I'm a God guy. I'm that's what I am.
That's great, man.
Nice mom.
Hey, I think if you were just saying I think that would have been better than the shit you were saying on the last show. I don't want to insult anybody.
Okay.
But I just watched the one with Cole Freeman, who I've seen perform in Milwaukee at the Harley Davidson anniversary thing, and I mean, I don't want to start off on a bad note, but I mean, what the fuck are you thinking, bro?
Okay. Well, have you ever read anything, any literature of the ancient text that's saying
No.
Oh, well, okay. Hang on one second. Now, I'm not saying that you've been brain damaged by fluoride in the water. I'm not saying that. But in a court of law, when if you're a judge or even a lawyer, that you're like trying to see what the other point is, by law, you have to read everything that they bring up for evidence. So all I'm saying is I've read. Look, I'm not right, left. I'm north over south. That's how I think, because I'm liberal. I'm conservative. I'm everything. Like I love everyone that's liberal. I mean, women that are liberal are so like. I mean, not that I'm trying not to give in the sins of the flesh, but my weakness is. Well, anyway, but I like whatever your belief is great. I love people that have belief, but all I say is read it. If I give you something that they said on their own website, I'm like, oh, well, actually, they said this. Well, then, by the court of law, you have to read it, man, because I read everything that people give me on every side. That's why I'm where I'm at right now, because I've read everything and I've listened to audiobooks.
You just talked for like 2 minutes, and I don't know what the fuck you just said, but that's really interesting. See, here's my problem with people like you, Jim, and I mean no disrespect, I really don't. But you're all right. You're sitting there thinking you're so fucking woke and all that bullshit. But to me, I think you've gathered so much information that it puts you in dreamland, and you're not woke at all. I think you're the opposite of woke.
I am. You're right.
Okay.
I am the opposite of woke. Well, didn't you? There's a whole article. It's actually called "Get Woke, Go Broke." The woke people are the ones that only listen to news networks and have tons of news networks on at the same time, and they get all their information from all these websites, and like that's how they get all their information. That's being woke. Because what is woke? Woke is you're like this. Oh, wow. It's a constant state of being. What's happening? But I am actually awake because I've trained my discernment in my third eye years ago from Jesus to actually having you understand what everything is, because it's all in the Bible. I actually bring it with me all the time. And it makes you awake. So I've been awakened by things, and now I have discernment, which every ancient text says that. Not even the Bible. I mean, Buddha, they all say this, that you need discernment. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think you got the wrong guy on the show. I think Luke Dogg should have been on this show. I don't know what the fuck to say to this guy, but I mean, I'm willing to argue with him and be friends with the guy, but I don't know if it's going to work out.
Well, I mean,
Casey, where do you stand on this bullshit?
Dude, I'm like, if you listen to the show last night with Cole, I'm like what he calls a fence sitter. I don't give a shit what you believe. I just like, I just like sitting here and listening to you two guys go off. Like, if anyone wants to know about like 1988 WWF wrestling, I've been going down like a rabbit hole on that. So like, if you want to talk Jake the Snake feuds, stuff like that, I know about that shit. But like, I'm interested in all this shit, but like, I don't dive into it like you guys do. I get my news from Politics with Dummies every week.
Yeah.
I don't watch. I try not to watch any news at all. I mean, it drives you crazy. Yeah, I mean, I don't care one way or the other, really. You know what I mean?
What news do you watch?
I watch it all because I don't trust it. Like, I mean, I'm there with you on that. I think that you can get like, this is a hot topic in the news. Let me look into it. But you have to hear both sides and you have to make up your own mind. I'm with you on that.
Oh, dude, I was just going to say, we probably agree on everything. But the thing is, see, you're coming from how you were raised and how you were brought up. And like everybody comes, wide is the gate to wide is the path to destruction, narrow is the gate. We all have our path. But when you come together, I guarantee you, our lingo might be different, but our intent is probably exactly the same. Even though we come at it different ways, thankfully we're in America where you can believe whatever you want, whether it's a Satanist or you're a Jesus or you're a Buddhist or whatever, you can believe whatever you want. And they haven't overthrown us yet with authoritarian belief. But thankfully you can hate people legally. It's legal to hate someone, even though you shouldn't. You should love your enemy. It's morally bad. But luckily, you hate how I have the love of God in my heart, and it disgusts you so much. And
whoa. I don't remember fucking saying any of that shit. I mean, can you expand on why you feel that way?
Well, I mean, it was half sarcastic, but no, I mean, obviously a person that applies faith, and I love science too. I'm not just because I believe we were created over evolution doesn't mean that I don't believe in science. Like all my best friends are scientists, smart dudes. Some work for NASA. They're so cool, and I love talking to them about deep stuff because honestly, when you know this really well, you can talk science and literature with people. So I'm not against anything, but it seems like when I'm telling people, they're saying here that they do rituals and people do this stuff and believe in it. It's not me just making it up that people believe in evil things and rituals. That's them saying it. I mean, like, you can read all their personal books and they're like, yeah, I agree with Lucifer more than God because he's the one that actually rules the world and adjusts nature and has you fit in perfectly with the world. And Jesus said the world hates you because we're not from the world and we need to excel above it. I mean, that's in their own words that they love. Oh, they love Satan so much. More blood. I need, like that's them saying it. Like I'm not.
Who the fuck is them?
That's what I was going to say.
Just name somebody. I mean, people. Just go ahead and name somebody. I probably got them already on my list of self-proclaimed Satanists.
So wait a minute, you have like an Excel spreadsheet of self-proclaimed Satanists?
No, I'm just joking, man. But I do know a couple.
I don't know you well enough, so I don't know what's fucking joking and what ain't. But go ahead.
Well, so what are your thoughts on? I mean, just tell me exactly what you disagree with me, because I guarantee you, we probably believe the same thing, just coming at it two different ways.
I don't. Okay, like I know Casey wants me to bring up 5G. I mean, what a waste of time this shit is. Why waste our time worrying about something that's not real when we have real shit going on right now?
Well, for sure. I mean, I get it like that. People, what they read was, because I saw an article saying that people think that 5G is giving you coronavirus. That wasn't it. BBC put out an article 20 years ago saying how mobile phones, or 10 years ago, mobile phones, I just put it on my Instagram, mobile phones have links to actually causing brain damage and brain cancer. And BBC's pretty, like, they can go either way. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like going to once, like, we're a Republican, rah! Or no, we're cool Democrats, be soft, you know. No, I'm like you. And so when you read this,
you're not fucking like me.
Well, you just said
you're nothing like me, dude. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I love you.
So, Jimbo, you're saying that the 5G itself isn't giving you the coronavirus, but it's making you brain dead and then allowing other people to just cough and spit on you and give you coronavirus because you don't know any better.
Well, in a way, yes, but it also weakens your immune system because it weakens the DNA and makes it more susceptible to viruses attaching on to the cells in your body. That because it heats up, which they've already shown this in a ton of studies. When you bring your phone to your head, it's kind of like a microwave in a way, but it's not as strong, obviously. But it raises your temperature, and so what happens when things get hot? So when things get hot, this is why when you have a fever, you're contagious and you're sick. When things get hot, stuff moves and it creates more space. Henceforth, viruses can get in easier. It doesn't give you corona, but it makes you susceptible to getting sick. Yeah, hey, do you want me to
listen? Here, I'll tell you how 5G spreads the coronavirus. You want to know? It's because people Google this stupid 5G conspiracy, and then they all group up, a bunch of heroes group up, and they go start burning down cell towers. And while they're grouped up, they're coughing and spitting on each other. It ain't the phone. Who's got a 5G phone? Do you know somebody with a 5G phone?
Nope.
Well, it's supposedly getting rolled out soon, I guess. I don't know.
Well, if it ain't even rolled out yet, then what the fuck is your point?
Well, and
how is that?
I'm not pro.
Seriously.
I don't want anybody to do anything violent. I don't want anyone to do anything violent or burn down stuff. No, I mean that's not the way of the master. That's not the way of Jesus. But I think just talking about it. Hey, I mean, last time I checked, we're in America. We could, you know. Hey, dude. Okay, let me guess. You believe the Earth is round, right? So
100%.
Well, me too, but
yeah, because I'm not stupid.
But right, well, I believe the Earth is round too. But flat earthers out there, I believe, hey, because they use science to prove their stuff. Not the Flat Earth Society, don't go there, but actually go to flat earthers that actually are in it not for the money and for the psyop. And they're great, man. Like, they're funny. Their memes are hilarious. I think if you want to believe the Earth is flat and you have your scientific proof, go ahead and believe it. And you know what? If the Earth is flat, that's great. I'd be like, wow, what a beautiful, what a time to be alive. But I don't think it is, because I believe it's. They call me a globe-tard, by the way. I'm a globe-tard because I believe it's round. Which I love flat earthers, and I'm going to have them on the show. See, what are your thoughts about having some? Do you think that's okay to be a flat earther, or are you?
Of course, it's okay. This is America, Jack.
Yes.
They can believe whatever they want. They're not hurting anybody. If they want to be stupid, be stupid. People are stupid about everything. I mean, people don't like Starbucks coffee. I don't hate those people. I live on the shit. It's just, you can believe whatever you want to believe. And that's like what politics, this is what Politics with Dummies is about. Luke Dogg is an idiot. I'm an idiot. And we just argue and we're not going to convince each other to shit, but we're still friends at the end of it. And that's what it's about. And the whole point of our show is kind of like what we're doing here, is so that people can see how stupid we look arguing about this shit. And hopefully they won't do it with their friends and family and their personal lives. They can just leave that alone. Let them believe what they want. You're not going to change anything. You're just going to get upset.
Yeah, dude, I totally agree with you. Except for Starbucks, you anti-American piece of garbage. Dunkin' Donuts is so much better than. Wait a minute. Hang on. I can. Oh my.
As long as you keep drinking it out of that chicken duck mug. I don't care where you go.
Oh, and you have the red shirt on.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, what's up?
I don't know if you know what wah-wah is, but
It's a pedal for playing guitar. I have a wah-wah pedal upstairs. You got something else?
Actually, I'm just going to go down the rabbit hole for 1 second. Guys, I just noticed this.
Oh, fuck.
There's a dove on here, okay?
Oh, that's a swan, and that's what a wah-wah is.
Oh, okay. All right, because remember Jesus said that's when he got mad at the temple, at the churches, when people selling money and women are coming out and they're all looking all hot. And Jesus flipped those, and he's like angry at them for selling doves. Wells Fargo, their logo is a dove.
And he flipped the table.
Huh?
And Jesus flipped the table over.
Yeah, because they were blaspheming God by doing it only to make money. Like they're like, oh yeah, we love.
Do you
God.
believe in dinosaurs?
Yeah, they were called.
Do you believe in dinosaurs?
Yeah, they were called dragons. Yeah.
Well, they might have been called dragons back then when.
The term dinosaur came out in 1860 by a guy that was just trying to differentiate of a different areas of where they were. But he said, the guy that made the word said they were dragons, but his term for them was a dinosauric era of the dragons. He was actually talking about them like 100 years before. He was talking about them in like the 1600s, and
he was talking about them in the 1600s, but he didn't come up with the word till 1860.
No, he was out of the books he was reading.
Well, the way you're explaining it,
yeah,
the way you're explaining it sounds like he was fucking 200 years old.
No. He was talking about the dragon, how the dragons were dinosaurs, but that was just a new word of it. You know how they changed the words? I mean, aliens are angels, speed bumps are speed humps now, or traffic calmers. They're changing the words all the time. But yeah, I believe in dinosaurs.
Let me ask you this: who gives a fuck if they're dragons or dinosaurs? Who gives a fuck? Why is this important? Because you're just rambling. Why is this important?
Because Christopher Columbus saw a dragon.
Everyone did. I lost you.
Nebuchadnezzar, which is real, used to have dragons. Noah actually was taught. There's the hieroglyphics of Noah actually commanding them, having them eat people. The T-Rexes, or not T-Rexes, what are the ones that were big and they were like attacking people? There's all this literature of dragons, of them saying they were casting them out, and actually we were in control of them, a lot of them, and we killed them. We actually had killed them all off, but
kind of like Christopher Columbus wiped out complete tribes on several islands, and that's never written about in any of the books.
Yeah, well, and he's okay. If you believe Christopher Columbus was a real person, and we take it from his book that he came to America, and if you believe that he came to America and took the land from the Native Americans, right? Well, then why don't you believe everything else that he said about? Yeah, I saw this huge dragon that it scared all of his men. Like, why don't you believe that? And people believe, oh, Nebuchadnezzar was real. Yeah. Oh yeah, he was a pharaoh in Egypt and all this stuff. And then when you read Nebuchadnezzar's book, he's like, oh yeah, Daniel was a real guy. He could see these visions. I threw him in the lion's den and he survived. Well, why do you only believe that he's real, but you don't talk about the Bible stuff that he even talks about? That's why they put it in there, because it was verified by all these people. So.
Listen, and I don't want to disrespect your religious man. I don't want to go there. But you believe the story of Noah really happened. It's not a fable with a point. It really rained. He really put all these animals on a boat, all that shit.
Do you believe in meteorology?
Because there's different people in religion.
Oh yeah. Well,
no, I don't think it works. It's horrible.
Religious, by the way. This, if you actually read it and apply it, it's not religious at all. It's observable things that happened that we can tell right now. I'm not religious because I'm not like a Seventh-day I'm not like this cool evangelical. Oh yeah, no. I just do this and apply it to life in a non-religious way. Actually, I'm churches. I think a lot of churches are fallen. Not all of them, but some. And but yeah, so meteorology came. We got meteorology from scientists that had.
Hold on. Do you believe it rained for 40 days and 40 nights?
Yes. Do you want to know why?
Okay. Because you read it on Google.
No. Well, I read it in the Bible first.
Nebuchadnezzar said it.
So, we get the science of this from meteorologists. That the actual term meteorology came from scientists that said that there was a flood. That's why we have meteorology now. That's why we have weather. We understand weather and climate. It was all basic science of what they. It's kind of like what's the physical laws? It's like laws of science that they started on, and now all these other theories came out. No, there's no flood. So here's why we all know there is, because of the sedimentary layers of everything all over the world. Which now they tried changing as no, they're the layers of the Earth age, right? That was never a thing. You know why? Because they showed this, and all the actual laws of fundamental meteorology. There's been, I think the number, it's like, I don't want to overestimate, but it's like 200,000 so far confirmed cases that are reported on, that those layers all over the world of sedimentary layering. It came from when there's a flood, the heaviest part's on the bottom, and then it comes up like that. That's why it gets harder to drill deeper. So in these lines, new scientists would come out and be like, no, they're the lines of the Earth. That's 10 billion years ago. That's 4 billion, and it goes like that, right? So they've disproven that because that's like a new belief. And when they came, and they've already shown this. No, because when you go back to it, there's trees standing straight up like this, through all the lines, hundreds of thousands of them. There's even animals that are like in these poses like this, fighting other animals trying to eat them within the layers. I mean, animals can't live for billions of years. Their bones would be destroyed. And there's hundreds of thousands. There's clams on top of the highest mountains, clams, seashells, fish, animals, all mixed together on the highest mountains. There's proof of this everywhere. And actually, it's not even fake stuff online. If you go to old meteorology books, you can read it. They're like, yeah, there was obviously a global flood. And on top of that, the ancients knew it because there's over 300 flood account stories in the ancient text that they all said, whoa, this flood, oh no. Like they all talked about it. Also, the last point I'll make is our current rate of population and how we understand population growth with adding in disease and food production and everything. If you multiply the rate of population by 8 people, Noah, his sons, and their daughters, in about 3000 BC, you come up perfectly to 700 billion right now to this day, mathematically. That was another reason why they proved that years ago. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I know I rant, but people don't hear this stuff.
No, I really have nothing to add to sedimentary rock and the
Jimbo, the one
exponential growth of population.
One thing I'll say, Jimbo, that doesn't make sense with the whole flood thing. If animals and stuff were fighting when a huge flood came through, they would have been washed away. They wouldn't have just stopped there.
Thank you.
So yeah, you're close, Case. I got you. I like where you're coming from. So
I understand the trees. If a tree maybe wouldn't get washed away, but animals would definitely get washed away, and they wouldn't be entangled in a fight.
That's how fast it happened. So
no, if it happened that
in 40 days.
Yeah, well, I know, but the first. Okay, so here's why it was so.
Hold on. Let me talk because you're crazy. If you're drowning, have you ever like been underwater for like 30 seconds, like shit, hold your breath, like I got to get up? At any point in time where you're thinking, damn, I wish I had a snack right now. Did that ever happen? And you're telling me that animals, in the midst of drowning, because it happened so fast, decided, hey, I need to eat this squirrel. The fuck out of here.
Okay, that's why it happens so fast. Because when you... Okay, I'm going to go two different ways here, which is going to sound crazy to you, but it makes perfect sense. Everything was bigger in the past because most likely there was a Gospel of the Stars that was in the Alexandrian library, and they all talked about it, how the stars would make sounds to people and sing to us because most likely the earth was covered by an ice layer around it that broke and fell in to the planet. Mm-hmm. So when that happened, I don't know how it happened, but that would explain why we had such high oxygen levels back then, why the animals were huge. Every ancient animal was massively bigger than the modern ones, possibly why people lived longer in ancient times too, which was the extended lifespan. But when that thing fell in, it was immediate floodwater rushing in that crushed everyone out of nowhere. And the rain was happening because of how fast and how hard it was. That I forget the science behind it, but yes, it did rain for 40 days, but that first wave was freezing ice and water coming down. And that's why you have the mammoth. If you ever saw the mammoth, its legs are completely broken and all of its bones are broken that they found, but crushed. And they found it in that position, but everything was crushed. It's all the bones in its body were literally broken, but then it was frozen. So that's what they're saying. How could that have happened all at once? It's literally like somebody just came up to it and just like broke all its bones, and then it froze. You know, it was so it happened very fast, Casey. That's what I'm saying. And then the flood water was a whole other. That was just the obvious rain. That's the torrential rain that was coming after it. And the animals, I mean, yeah, they went on the boat because, hey, guys. Animals are the first to know when something's bad happening. They just know. They knew. Let me
ask you this. If it happened so fucking fast and everything was frozen, how did they have time to get all the animals onto the boat? Wouldn't the boat have been frozen under solid water?
Because Noah was warning people for 200 years, actually, and that wasn't just Bible. That
Noah was 200 years also, just like
he was like 800 years old somehow.
He was when the flood happened. I think he was, he was like 300 years old, I think, or something like that.
Fuck out of here!
He warned people for 200 years, and they were like, "You're crazy! You're crazy, man!" And hey, you know what? They called him crazy. Like they call the doomsday preppers crazy. But you know what? No. Who's laughing now, J. Ray?
You were with me up until the point that Noah was 300 years old.
It's because the flood.
Well, it would take several hundred years for him to gather two of every animal. Well, but then they keep dying, so he'd have to keep going back and finding more. It's a nightmare.
Well, you know, hey, do you have dogs or do you have cats or something?
No.
So, have you ever seen have you ever been around a dog that when something's happening outside that we're not really aware of, it's like, guys, hang on, I sense something, and actually, some texts say that the animals just knew to get on the boat. Like it's almost like somebody told them.
Okay, listen. He took one of each. So if every animal knew to get on the boat, you would have. Yeah, one male, one female. But if everybody knew to get on the boat, he'd have to kill, like, I don't know, thousands of fucking lions that are all trying to rush on the boat. But he did. There was just two, and they were lined up to get on the fucking thing.
Well, so, you know,
what I'm gathering out of this is that there was fake news back then, too.
Bingo.
I mean, yeah, there probably was, but I'll tell you what. Why then can we still prove that this all happened? Like, okay, there's something that lasts forever. Like the truth lasts forever. No matter how you look at it. Sun's, the sky's blue. The sun's, I don't know what color that is, orange, whatever. You know, there's stuff that when you say it, it lasts forever.
Okay, Noah was a big deal, right? He is a big deal.
Right.
Where's his grave?
He was, I believe, they took his body after Nimrod and his wife stole the garments of Adam and Eve. This is in this weird text, by the way, this occult, like cool text, people trying to meet in secret with their robes on and stuff. Supposedly Nimrod, or Gilgamesh.
Nimrod, yep.
Well, he's the one that built the Tower of Babel, which is where we get babbling from because of the because why? Because all the languages were confused. That's why it's called babbling, because God destroyed the tower. No one could talk to each other. That's where everything we get is from here, dude. Our calendar.
That was old school 5G.
So the skull of Adam is in the center of the earth, which was up to Noah to bury. But Noah's body.
So Noah buried Adam at the center of the earth.
Yeah, he had to. His skull was to be buried in the center of the earth. I think. Look, there's some.
Wait. You're telling me that the guys.
What the fuck?
You're telling me that the guys from Oak Island can't find any fucking treasure on a fucking small little island up in Nova Scotia, and fucking Noah dug a hole to the center of the earth to bury fucking Adam's head.
Casey, do you know how they made the pyramids?
Do you
know how they
What do you use, a shovel?
Okay, aliens, the angels, the fallen angels.
Everybody knows that.
Everyone knows that you can command the fallen angels because we have dominion over them to do things for you. I mean, Solomon could control demons with the pentagram, and he was like, hey, and he would throw the pentagram at the demons, and they'd be like, oh, and he's like, who do you work for? And he would yell at them, and they're like, Gabriel, the angel, has me bound. And he's like, well, you know what? Get these women and bring them into my room. And the demon's like, oh, okay, fine. Like, they could command, and that's how they did all these amazing things that we can't explain back then, because they had the Nephilim and the aliens and the spirits and everything. They had control over them.
Where are they at now, sir? Where are all these? How come I can't control these angels and shit?
You can.
I'm a good person.
You can, but you don't want to because it's evil. And actually got like.
Fuck it, I'll do it. Tell me how to do it. I don't give a shit.
Okay. Do you believe in ghosts and spirits?
Nope.
Do you believe in aliens?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're getting there. All right, so the aliens basically are the angels, because why wouldn't they reveal themselves to us? Because the angels don't, and they could be demonic too, but the angels don't want to interfere with free will. That's why we're like, oh, why aren't they? No, talk to me, spirit, please help me. Because
so why did they talk to them back then?
Well, because I'll tell you exactly why. Because back then, during the creation, they were here. And they lived on through these spirits of the Nephilim, because when the angels fell and they plowed all of our precious hot women, because they were so much hotter back then than they are now, because the angels saw in Genesis 6, they're like, the fallen angels saw that the women, our women are just so great. And the angels saw them and came into them. That's where you get the word came from, is because they came into them. And so they plowed all of our precious women, and they had these half alien, half human hybrids. And when those things died, that's the spirits of the earth that still roam here, because God said they were cursed to earth forever. They're the spirits that you talk to that look like your dead great-great-grandmother.
You're telling me that Genesis is alien porn. That's what you're saying.
Look up.
I don't want to look up.
So you don't want to read the truth. Wow, I thought you were
your truth is, I'm glad you have truth, but your truth and my truth don't have to be the same. And I'm not going to read how the alien came into the hot bitches. I'm not going to do it. I don't want that to be in the Bible.
So you don't like Species? You never saw with the Natasha Henstridge? You don't like,
It's not a true story. It's not,
really?
Oh boy.
So Jimbo, earlier you said that all of your knowledge and awakened. I guess you're not woke. You're awakened. It has brought
Big difference.
it's brought you to where you are. So explain to the people where are you right now?
Yeah, where the fuck are you, bro?
Like physically?
Yeah, physically.
Oh, I'm in Reading, Pennsylvania.
No. What? Whose house? Where is all that?
Oh, all this?
Yeah.
This is my parents' basement.
Oh, okay.
I knew that already.
Yeah. Well, no, I was living in Austin.
Cleaning fabric.
Yeah.
Fucking knocking it down. Rolling in it.
I mean, you know, I love I love it. Yeah. Like, you know, my day was basically, you know, I'd be pulling long hose, you know, pulling hose all day. I'd use this big wand, you know, Ben's left, by the way. And it just, you know, I loved it. You know, a lot of sexual innuendos I could use and joke around with people and clients. I've been around
it's hilarious.
A ton of high level people too, which told me some things that, you know, I may or may not be able to share. And I'm saying these are high level people telling me about the entire spiritual warfare happening. And dude, it's all so real. I'm just going to read to you right now what you know, everyone says, oh, the Bible, they don't believe in aliens. No, that's where aliens came from. It came to pass when men began to multiply that daughters were born of them. Hot. Okay. It's not just like, oh, you know, there's the girl that works over at Wawa. No,
how do you find this stuff so fucking quick?
Dude, because I apply this to life, and it makes you look at life so much better, full of joy and hope and will. The spirit.
I have all that stuff, and I have never even once looked in a Bible.
Well, you should, because you're like, whoa, wow, flying spaceships in the sky?
It doesn't say that. It doesn't say flying spaceships in the sky.
You've never read Ezekiel.
Show me where it says flying spaceships in the sky.
Okay, all right, I'll get there right now. The sons of God saw the daughters of men. Hang on one second, my computer. And that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair. Right? And we all know what fair means, okay? And they took wives of them, all which they chose. And there were giants on the earth in those days, and also after that. When the sons of God came into the daughters of men, they bore children. They bore children to them. The same became mighty men, which were of old, the men of renown. Okay?
I haven't heard the word spaceship anywhere.
I'm waiting. I'm just sitting here waiting for spaceship. Can you get to it?
Yeah. Give me 1 second. So right there, it said the men of renown. Those were all the ancient gods.
You're stalling, bro. Get to the spaceships. You're stalling.
All right.
You know, there's no fucking word spaceship in that book. And if there is, you wrote it in there.
I wrote it. Yeah, you know, it actually says if you're cursed if you start.
You're cursed if you what?
Okay.
If you write in the book?
You write in that book. Man, you don't want to do that.
I see you scribble in that book all the time. You post it on Instagram.
Okay, I'm just getting the exact 1 to 48. Okay. 5th day of the month, the Lord came in the midst of I forget which passages. Hang on.
Hold on. The Lord came. The Lord came. Is that the same came? Because I need to know.
Hang on. No, he came down. But yeah,
okay.
I mean, it was like, where is wheel within a wheel? Hang on. I'm trying to find the exact verse, and
How much coffee is in that mug, J. Ray?
There's like 2 sips left.
Jesus, I finished mine like an hour ago.
Don't tell me how to drink coffee, motherfucker. I'm learning about spaceships.
Okay. So, basically here's what happened. And I looked and I beheld a whirlwind which came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and the brightness was about it, and out of the midst it was made of amber. Okay, so he's looking up, behold, which is where we get the word behold from. He was like, like that.
Right. He's looking at the sun. Show me spaceship.
He looked up. Out of the midst came the likeness of living creatures, and it was their appearance. They had a likeness of a man. Everyone had 4 faces. I'm just getting there. So he's looking up. He's explaining what he's trying to see. Their wings were joined one another. They were turned not when they went. They had the face of a lion. Thus their faces were wings. Okay, hang on. We're getting there. Whether the spirit, the living creatures ran, returned to the appearance of flat. Okay. Now as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by living creatures with 4 faces. The appearance of the wheels and their work was also like the color of beryl. They had 4 likenesses. When they went all with these things, with whoever the spirit was around.
Are you going to read the whole Bible?
Oh, no, it's literally like the whole chapter is him describing this. It would take me forever. But he looked up and saw a wheel within a wheel flying through the clouds coming down onto the earth. From the clouds.
If 4 faces is mentioned, 4 faces was mentioned in there twice. I've never seen any aliens in any depiction on anything have 4 faces.
Dude, maybe it was, windows, and there was like appearances of things. I don't know what it meant. Maybe it was a flying beast. I don't know. I mean, who knows what they can do?
Maybe he was just high as fuck, and he started writing some shit down.
Oh,
when I stare at the sun, I see a circle with a circle in it. It's just your eyeballs do that shit. And they probably didn't know that back then.
They had a word for the sun. It was called, the sun in the sky was called Sen. And everyone says, oh no, Jesus the sun is the sun. No, the word for sun as a child is Ben. And the word for the sun in the sky is Sen. They don't use any of those words here because they knew what the sun was. That's where we get the calendar from.
Yeah, but do they know what the sun rays do to your optics when you stare at it?
No. They were probably on DMT.
This is coming from, the people that told us everything about the sun and it's setting and it's rising and everything.
Yeah, because the earth is round.
Well, by the way, we know the earth is round from who? Enoch. Enoch was the one that said, oh, I saw the circle of the earth. That's because he was taken up by the alien angels. He was taken up, and people actually were like, oh, where you go? When he was taken up, he was in the throne, and he was like, oh, I can see earth from here. Huh, it's circular. Okay, there you go. God, what next do you have? Or alien, hey, whatever you want to call it. So you believe in aliens, so do I, man. I told you, we'd have the same belief. It's just, you got to see where I'm coming from.
I'm so glad I didn't say I believe in ghosts. I'm so glad. I'd have been fucked.
Let's get off all that. So J. Ray, how's everything going with? Are you still working with coronavirus and all that going on?
Yeah, I'm essential.
Yeah,
it is what it is. Yeah.
How's everything in Illinois?
Illinois is. We've been on lockdown for a long time, and it's just like everywhere else. A lot of people are doing the right thing. A lot of people are not doing the right thing, and it's just the nature of the beast,
Yeah.
What do you do? How are you not?
Shut up. The fuck up.
He didn't get that memo. I forgot to tell
Oh,
you.
okay. My bad. Yeah, I don't want to talk about work because they'll fire me instantly for the way I talk to people.
Casey knows this. I forget things. He told me a couple days ago, and I totally forgot that. My memory, I need more ginkgo biloba or zinc or something because my memory is just.
No, you need to just stop putting useless information into your fucking head and just relax for 3 weeks and just not read any fucking garbage.
How do you? So just be a brain dead nincompoop?
Yeah. Watch 1988 WWF wrestling.
You're pretty much doing that anyway, bro.
Dude, I love, the best motivation is when the old Hulk and Macho Man stuff, when they would talk to each other. Oh, that's the best motivation ever.
Yeah.
For working out. Wait, wasn't it cocaine and steroids? Was that called something? You take them together and it.
I don't know. I don't think so. There's a thing called when you do speed and something else together. It's I forget exactly what it's called. The one guy in the Grateful Dead died of it. I forget. But J Ray, you have anything else for us, man? You wanna?
Fuck no.
I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do this, man. I know he's a fucking nut job.
Hey, J Ray, do you ever
What's
have
up,
guests?
Jim?
Do you ever have guests on your show that, you know, maybe because times are like no other ever in recorded history, and maybe you want to talk about end times and, you know, or music, guitar lessons and stuff like that, whatever?
No.
We'll have to get Loop Dog on sometime. Loop Dog might
Yeah.
be more on your side with things, Jimbo.
I'm not on any side. We just proved that me and J Ray have the exact same belief.
Oh, yeah, exactly. The exact same belief.
Yep, 100%.
J Ray, give a plug where people can find your show.
Fuck it. I'm good.
So the word politics for dummies, I just want to look you up.
It's with dummies, motherfucker. With.
Oh, okay.
With.
Politics with dummies. I'm just gonna stalk you or research you on.
Feel free, man. Go bananas.
You should have done that before the show.
Yeah, it's kind of pointless to do it now. Go ahead. Don't fill your brain up with nonsense. Oh, you'll love Loop. You'll love him.
Yeah. Hey, I love everybody equally.
Will Loop Dog do the Zoom thing like this?
He probably will. He'll complain about it, but he can do it. He's got a computer. It's easy.
All right. Cool. All right. So follow
Who's
J Ray.
socially distant? Is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
Follow J Ray and Loop Dog at With Dummies on Twitter, and follow the No Phony Podcast Network at Phony No.
That's it. Yeah.
And nophonynetwork.com. So.
Hells yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Next time we have next time we have you on, maybe we can talk about evolution versus creation.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'll definitely be on again.
Oh shit.